What's good, kings and queens? Hope everyone's having a good week. It took some time, but this is the final installment to the original When Boxing Gets Personal series. I originally made 6 of them, but I unfortunately had to redo them all, part by part. With that being said, let's start the video.
I've recommended fines. If I have to disqualify you guys, nobody's getting paid. We understand each other? Okay? Knock this shit off.
He's a clown and a mouthy idiot from over the water.
Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
You couldn't fight worse. You couldn't fight worse.
Step across the line. Habitually, he's a habitual line stepper.
Awkward tensions were building up between the two towards the end of Naseem Hamed's contract with HBO. I don't think George truly appreciated the narrative HBO was trying to put, despite promoting the matchup. Sanchez was Naseem's mandatory opponent, only one loss on his resume.
Augie Sanchez comes in here after so many people turned down the fight. Marco Antonio Barrera and Derek Morales, noteworthily, neither of them really ready to take this fight so quickly after their huge war in February. There were at least 4 other better-known fighters who turned down the opportunity to be here. So here comes Sanchez.
The appearance of this fight is that it's a kind of tune-up for another Prince tune-up.
Sanchez had his moments, dropping Hamed, making the fight exciting early on.
A clean knockdown. That's gonna be raw.
And another big left hook by Sanchez. And Naseem Sanchez lands another left hook here. They trade left hook.
Till Hamed was able to finish him in the 4th. In the HBO script, they decided to downplay the quality of the matchup and pressure Naz into fighting Barrera or Morales, which he was already looking to fight either of the guys in the first place.
This is some kind of champion who sits and offers his title available and all the contenders say no. It's unheard of, and for good reasons. He has power in both hands and he has the eyes of an eagle.
Did this kid belong in the ring with you?
You seen the guy knock me down. You seen the guy give me problems in some of the rounds. How can you say, of course he should have been in. He's only lost 1 fight. He's got the same knockout percentage as me. Don't tell me about should he be in the ring with me.
So George was the only guy who spoke positive on Naz and decided to stick off the script and call out Larry Merchant for the silly question.
Larry asked, as far as I'm concerned, the most profound question. In the long run, was this guy supposed to be in the ring with him?
Right.
You know, it took a lot of nerve, but he did ask that, and I'm proud of him for doing it.
Well, hey, listen, and I give Naz credit for being sportsmanlike enough to give all the credit he possibly could to Augie Sanchez within the interview.
Yeah, but
he
Larry,
didn't belittle him.
Pretty brave, Larry.
All right, well, let's...
Good question.
Larry returns back to the HBO booth where he gives his final words, further downplaying the event and cracking a joke here and there.
I think that it's an illusion that Augie Sanchez belonged in the same ring. Augie Sanchez did not have the record of opponents to fight Naz and have a serious chance to be competitive. He was, as it turned out, I believe, a tune-up for what is going to be another tune-up in Naz's next fight.
When Jim comes in for his words, you can hear Foreman going off in the background. Unfortunately, I can't make up what he said as his mic was turned off. Jim just brushes it off and gives Foreman a snarky remark.
Well, don't tell him that. Tell him only Barrera and Morales can give him serious opposition. Yeah, all right.
So fast forward to the Hamed versus Barrera fight. They were absolutely waiting for this moment to say whatever about this man. But Jim decided to be very edgy and bring religion into this. George, who is an incredibly religious person, loves all people, and his most notable best friend is Muslim. George took this to great offense and called out Jim almost immediately.
12 rounds you've seen here suggest that knows how to spell Barrera. B-A-R-R-E-R-A.
You should be cool on that.
After the bell rung, it was sort of an awkward silence, just crowd noise till the replays of the final round were pulled up. As the replays were pulled up and it showed Barrera pushing Hamed into the ring post, Jim asked George, I don't think he likes Hamed. George, obviously still mad, called out Jim once again. Jim sort of losing his words as it just came to his head that was a mistake.
I don't think he likes him, George.
I don't think you like him much yourself, Jim.
I like him fine. I think I have no problem with that.
You said some things I don't think you like the guy. You should be careful yourself.
You got the other one?
Since this was 2001, before social media, not many people wrote about it in the paper, and the fact that 310,000 people bought the pay-per-view, Jim was able to broadcast another day. The following week after the fight, during the rebroadcast, everything regarding Hamed's religion was edited out. Just before the start of the fight, Jim's outbursts and George calling him out was completely removed.
You've seen here suggest that knows how to spell Barrera. B-A-R-R-E-R-A.
You should be cool on that.
It was obviously edited out, even the final round replays. It straight cuts to Buffer's final announcement. So if you were the 1+ million that tuned in to watch the rebroadcast because you didn't buy the fight, you most likely never saw or heard anything. During the third round, the HBO crew was trying to get Emanuel Steward to agree on their statements, when Steward gave an already great analysis what was happening.
Man is going to throw punches. But I don't get a certain point, you start getting a little frustrated still when you're throwing punches, and really for clean punches yourself, you're not landing anything. To me still, the effective punches are from Clottey.
Pacquiao is outthrowing Clottey by a large sum. They're not landing, but it's scoring. But Clottey is landing the much more effective shots, despite it not being many. They continue to annoy him to where he raised his voice to shut him up.
I see different. I see Clottey landing the straight punches, the clean punches.
Perhaps Emanuel, but he threw 27 and landed 5 in the last round. But Manny threw 96.
I said Manny's winning the fight,
okay,
but I'm saying the clean, effective punches are still, to me, coming from Clottey. There's not enough of them. It's not enough.
More to Steward's credit, Clottey was landing beautifully on Pacquiao in the third. That went unaccounted for by the rest of the crew. So we already know about the beef coming into the fight between De La Hoya and Vargas, but what about in the post-fight? In a detailed account by Oscar in a 2012 Japanese documentary on his entire career, he discussed what happened in the post-fight. Oscar had gotten one of his favorite restaurants to close it off privately just so they can meet up, have something to eat, and squash their beef.
Even after the fight, I mean, he didn't shake my hand to congratulate me, he just left the ring. And so the following week after the fight, I decided to call his people and I told them, look, I want to have a meeting with Vargas so we can, make peace and just get along. And so he agreed.
And before they can even sit down and order some food, the unexpected happens. Till this day, I don't know if they're on better terms or it was finally squashed for good.
And I'm waiting for him. And so 10 minutes later, he walks in with sunglasses. It's during the day. And the first thing he tells me, and I stand up to give him my hand, the first thing he tells me is, you didn't beat me. You didn't beat me. I want the rematch. And I said to myself, oh my gosh, here we go. And so he was just talking, I need the rematch and I want the rematch and I don't like you. And I said, Vargas, I tried, thank you, and I walked away.
This is in the build-up to the Mayweather-Guerrero fight. Robert's dad has absolutely no chill and just goes off on Mayweather, calling him all sorts of things, making it one of the more memorable moments of the whole event.
Let me, He talks about my son!
Possibly one of the dirtiest and the most confusing fights I've seen. Dude throws a shoulder at him, blatant foul, then later they are having a battle of who can get in the most rabbit punches. The ref steps right in, while Yamaguchi complains to the ref. He then pushes Rios. Rios spits at him. A little bit of a commotion happens right after the bell. At the start of the next round, the ref put a pause to the fight, and he was like, you know what? This fight is over. I'm disqualifying both of you. This resulted in a no contest. Hilariously, both guys hugged it out like absolutely nothing happened when the results came in.
De raíz y quiere que le diga una cosa, esto iba a empeorar.
Y el abrazo ahora.
Y ahora se abraza.
So in the final presser, this turned from Broner versus Vargas, where Broner is trash-talking Vargas.
Bradley, you lost when you stepped up, you fought Pacquiao, you lost. So shut that shit up, Chad. So what I'm saying is this. I don't want to hear nothing. Quit talking about all the losses. You ain't them.
Then to Broner versus Ellerby very quickly.
Him right here, Leonard Ellerby against me. They with this ass. Leonard a bitch too.
First off, you don't disrespect me like that.
Man, shut up. I'm a real one. I'm a real one.
And this isn't about me. You guys got to fight.
Yeah,
on Saturday night.
Shut that soft ass shit up.
And the best man
Shut
to
that
win.
soft. That's some soft ass shit. Shut that soft ass shit up. All that soft talking. I know you can do it, man. You got the. Man, shut that soft ass shit up, man.
So,
you ain't with me.
After going off on Ellerby, Broner made one last statement.
They want AB to go out. They want me to lose this fight, go up under the rug, and never be talked about again. I'm not losing to no Jesse Vargas, man. Y'all got me f***ed up.
So this is crazy here. It all started from a rabbit punch. Dude's team member jumps into the ring apron and grabs his head. Looked like he tried poking his eyes. Then the other fighter's trainer runs up in there throwing dragon kung fu kicks, turns around and yeets Salisbury in the face. Then the ref himself starts fighting Temelkov's trainer, and hilariously after the fight was sort of broken up, the ref runs over and socks the team member who had nothing to do with the scuffle in the first place. Goes over and announces Salisbury as the winner.
Sensational finishes to any fight in Australian recent history.
So this was single-handedly started up by Danny Garcia's dad, Angel Garcia. It was just an anomaly of slurs, which I have to leave these clips on mute. Go see for yourself on the original video shot by T Street Controversy. So Jose gets a very late hit after the bell. Darrell was unable to continue and Jose was disqualified. I would like to note that this was the second time in the fight where Jose got a hit in after the bell when Darrell's guard was down.
Round two. Oh, and a late punch after the bell.
I like that warning.
This is also the second time Darrell was knocked out by a foul in this fashion.
That's a foul, and if he's knocked out, Abraham should be disqualified.
So this caused a mini scuffle outside the ring with security, which in this type of situation, it's maybe best to keep everyone besides the trainer out the ring. After Darrell was able to get up, Darrell goes over to Jose and his team just to say, "I'm okay," and forgave them. Being a true sportsman, no bad feelings. As Darrell is walking back to his corner, one of Darrell's team members snuck over to Jose's side and snuffed him in the jaw when he wasn't paying attention. Due to YouTube's guidelines, especially since what was committed is a crime itself, I cannot show the actual punch. You can easily Google the replay, so this is right before he threw it. Jose's mouth was wide open, which is the last thing you want to have when you get hit. Darrell's team member, which was his uncle, stepped in and threw with all of his might, landing perfectly on the jaw. I'm actually surprised Jose's jaw held up the way it did. In the post-fight, Darrell's uncle got very lucky in this situation. He was facing 2 felony charges, first and second degree assault, $2,500 fine, plus 10 years in prison. I think due to the context of the situation, having a good lawyer plus the WBC and athletic commissions suspended and applied some form of disciplinary actions on him, the charges were ultimately dropped and reduced to just a misdemeanor. And on top of that, this is When Boxing Gets Personal Part 6. For more videos like these, be sure to like, share, and if you're new, subscribe. Subscribe to my Patreon for early access. Big shout out to my patrons. I'm Office Honcho, and I'm out.